Let's get into this polling situation on the eve of the election. Of course, as I said at the top of the program, the polls are heading south for Labor, forcing that party to dig into their bag of dirty political tricks. Here's Peter Stefanovic running through the numbers on Sky this morning.
The coalition has extended its lead over Labor. The latest Freshwater Strategy poll on the Financial Review shows the coalition ahead of Labor by 52 to 48%. That's two-party preferred. This is up from 51 to 49%. Moving things to Resolve now on the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age, it reports a greater gap between the parties. Resolve Strategic revealing the coalition leads Labor, significant margin, 55 to 45.
Yeah, a few of them would have been choking on their Wheaties this morning, wouldn't they? Let's bring in former Labor Senator and respected polling analyst John Black joining us live from Brisbane. Good to talk to you, John. I've heard a lot of people try to dismiss the Resolve poll here, the 55-45 one, as being an outlier. I'm interested to hear what terminology you would use, because no one's surprised at the 52-48 result. And all of this, combined with Newspoll and Essential, all shows the same trend at the moment.
Look, all of the polls, Chris, are showing the same trend. It's down for Labor. It's down more in primary votes than it is in two-party preferred votes, but the direction's down. As far as the Resolve poll goes, there seemed to be a lot of leakage from Labor's primary vote in places like New South Wales to One Nation and Independence and so on. But I had a closer look at the primary votes and I allocated them myself based on what we knew was the allocation of preferences at the last election. And I came up with a two-party preferred vote for Labor of about 47. So that's within 1% of the others. I think the bottom line here is that they're all heading in the same direction. And that is extremely worrying for Labor.
Yeah, now, neither major party would be excited about their primary vote. We're seeing over a long period now, but an increasing trend towards minor parties and independents. How much more difficult does that make it for pollsters? Because so much of it, that popular vote, involves trying to work out where those preferences are going to go.
Look, it makes it very hard, Chris, for an old battler like myself to try and work out a two-party preferred vote. I actually gave up after the 22 election. I don't do it as seriously as I used to, because I think we had last time about 15 seats that were decided on primary votes. There were unambiguous results which you could allocate to a two-party preferred basis. So look, when the parties fall below, the two major parties fall below, two-thirds of the vote, primary vote between them, then the two-party preferred vote becomes pretty wonky as a concept. So I'm now looking much more closely at primary votes. And look, it's undeniable there what we're seeing, and that is a drop for Labor in their primary vote down to a figure in the high 20s, and that's from about 33 at the last election. And the last election was a drop on the one before that. Whereas the Liberal Party is creeping up inexorably from about 36% up towards about 39 to 40%. Now that 2, 3 or 4% makes a hell of a lot of difference when you're working out who goes out first in the count to see who survives.
Now, I want to go back to my time in politics. I worked in state and federal politics and involved in campaigns from opposition and government. And if my memory serves me well, you always used to talk about the job of an opposition leader is first to drag the government's vote down. And that's the priority, and it tends to be chronologically the first development. And then if you've got a good opposition leader, they can lift their own vote a bit, convince those people who are wavering to come on board with the opposition. Is that the correct interpretation of how it plays out? I mean, if so, hasn't Peter Dutton done fabulously in suppressing the Labor vote, but in order to win government himself, he needs to drag more people into his own column?
Yes, I think that's the case. I mean, it's one thing for an opposition to tear down a government, and I think that that's happened. It's been quite obviously happening. The Freshwater poll was really disturbing for Labor and for Albanese personally, because it just shows he's not regarded as a strong or effective leader, particularly when it comes to standing up against Donald Trump, whereas Dutton certainly is. But sooner or later, when you get closer and closer to the election date, the people need to know why they want to vote for the opposition. And I think that's where they've been falling down a bit in terms of some of the country areas. The swings don't seem to be as strong there.
That's the one to watch. See if he can win them across to the coalition side. They need to get their primary vote up higher as well. Thanks for joining us, John. Really appreciate your analysis.